me to rant, ain't you?
I'm just asking you a simple question.
No, I don't think
We did a poll on Arsenal Fan TV. I did a video a few days ago and I asked, is Mikel Arteta the right man for Arsenal? 73% of the fans said no. 73%. It's an unbelievable stat for, you know.
I've made my feelings clear on this situation. I will support him. I will back him if he is the manager. I will get behind him. And any defeats and any problems, I take my anger out on the people that are really responsible for the situation we're in, which is the board. Because if you're listening to what we're being told, and I know you can't listen to rumours and speculation, but we're hearing that
I'm Shree Bose, and I am a medical student. I was 15, and my grandfather passed away of cancer. I wanted to start doing cancer research. This Windows 10 PC is great. It's really cool to have these 3D visualizations. You can see, like, the cell's membrane. I want to be making the discoveries that help people live better lives.
Allegri wants 200 million to rebuild the squad, and Arsenal refused. Arteta wants the job and will accept 50 million. So, I've said it all along, this is where we'll find out whether it was Arsenal's fault or the board's fault. Was he really protecting them? I do feel that, regardless, Arsenal has finished as a manager in terms of competing in the Premier League because he was getting the quality players. Oh.
Thank you.
It's a Sky Sports thing, and I actually thought I was going to come up with Mikel Arteta is the new manager, but it isn't. That was so not planned either. No, it's just about Carvajal leaves Swansea. And it was just like, I actually just freaked out then. I thought, can you imagine that one? That would have been perfect. But no, yeah, let me put it on silent actually, just in case it does come through with Arteta. But it's... They have to go out there and make a statement to the fans. Now, I know they're not stupid enough to think that there's such a fractious fan base and everyone's still teetering on edge. I don't get what their thought of logic is that Arteta's going to bring the fans together. I don't get that, because he isn't. It's causing divide already, straight down the middle. People even more
down in the middle,
like more that side. Like everyone
I told you,
the people that I've spoken to,
74% of fans said.
I don't think there's a mass majority of fans that are saying they won't back him. I think everyone's saying they will
fans
back
will
him.
back whoever comes in,
right? But
initially.
It doesn't mean you have to be happy with the appointment. It doesn't mean you have to be happy with what's actually going on. The only part that I look at, which I look and I say, okay, well, this is what we wanted, is the change of the backroom staff as well. A lot of the old guard's gone that's been there for the whole Wenger time, and we've talked up Sven Mislintat so much, we've talked up Raul Sonelli so much, and you know, all these guys that have been brought in, we've talked them up. So we need to just say, okay, well, let them do their job. If they're going to bring in coaches and backroom staff that would make things
that's
a bit
fair
easier,
enough.
that's
But
fine.
we're talking about now.
Of course, I know.
We're talking about the manager of the football club. We're talking about stepping into the shoes of a manager that's been in charge for or was in charge for 22 years, right? Who's like, anywhere you go in the world and you say, name me some managers, his name will be called in it. He's one of the biggest managers of all time, right? And I, like you, I agree with you, right, on this, that, right, how, and it's got nothing to do with the fact that he's white, by the way, before you start, right? But, no, jokes aside, I mean, how Mikel Arteta, who's got no managerial experience. When we were speaking the other day and we were saying to people, Brendan Rodgers, there's fans going, no way, but I'd rather have Brendan Rodgers.
At least he's got experience.
Brendan Rodgers took Liverpool to second in the league. They should really have won the league that year. Brendan Rodgers has been managing Celtic. I know you might say whatever league it's in or whatever. He's got a season unbeaten, right, invincible season, and he's won the league every year since he's been there. Mikel Arteta's got no managerial experience. I know he's number two to a very successful team. I know he's very highly, you know, talked about.
Yeah.
Right? I've never heard a manager who's not been highly talked about by other managers and pros and that. You know, so... But this is a major job. And like you said, it's not just the fact that you're looking for a new manager. You're looking for someone who's going to kind of unify, like you said, a fractured fan base.
Yeah.
And it's just not the right time for Mikel Arteta. That's my feelings on it. I'm like you. I will get behind Mikel Arteta. I will be hoping and praying that he's going to be the next big thing. Because managers can come from out of nowhere. You know, somebody was pointing out to me, Pochettino sort of came from out of nowhere. But then even Pochettino was managing before Tottenham took him.
I know, and
he was doing very well at Southampton.
People say about Arsene and that he was, but you remember he was at Monaco.
He was at Monaco. He was managing in Japan, not number twos.
Yeah.
And I just look on it and say to myself, well, if we're going to go for like a club legend,
Vieira, Henry.
Well, not a Vieira.
Because
Arteta was the captain of Arsenal
when we was in our worst period.
I don't understand it.
But yet Vieira and Henry were captains through some of our best periods. And played in our best periods.
You want someone to fix the defence and the midfield, and you're going to bring in someone who was part of the holding midfielder.
That was getting torn apart like at Liverpool away when we were 3-0 down in 15 minutes and stuff. And
I'm really...
I know.
You know, I mean,
know, it's difficult because you know the problem.
And you look on it and you say, well, then why did we let him go in the first place? Then why didn't we then keep him and bring him in as a number 2 to Wenger at the time and let him learn from Wenger so that he could then take... honestly,
that would have been more acceptable.
Would we be going after Arteta if he hadn't have played for Arsenal in the past?
Probably not. It just seems like a very simple option because he's probably a yes man. He's someone that's going to deflect and keep everything away from the Cronkies again. But what I will say is that, as that plane showed at Huddersfield last week, fans, they want him out.
Do these guys not know?
No.
That
I already
this
know
next appointment is critical.
They don't care because what
they don't care. I don't think.
Because Josh will finish his little stint in England now and go back home. Stan will be back home. Gazidis will be the one fronting up over here.
No, Gazidis is a smart guy, and he would have seen the reactions over the years and that. And surely he should be realising that...
Why are they putting it together? Why are they doing that then? Why are they even considering it? I wouldn't mind if Arteta came back as a number 2, and then you turn around and said, all right, if we had an Allegri for the next 3-4 years... But
he's not going to come back as a number 2 because he's already... He's in a better number 2 position where he is, isn't he? He's with Guardiola.
But that's what I'm saying. No one would argue if he spent the next 3-4 years under an Allegri to take over.
Listen, I'm not into this number 2 thing, right? Do you remember that guy, is it Paul Clement?
Yeah.
He's number 2 at Real Madrid with Ancelotti. They won this, they won the Champions League, they won this. He's number 2. Yeah. He comes to Derby, and flops.
Swansea flops. But yet still he was number 2 at Real Madrid. I'm not in this number 2 thing, right?
This is not the right time now. We need a number 1. If Allegri doesn't want to leave Juventus, that's fair enough. You can't force somebody to leave. You can try and make him an offer.
Well, I'm hearing that he's up for coming, but he just wants his reassurances.
We should be pulling out every last stop to get him. If we can't get Allegri, there's Luis Enrique. We should be pulling out every last... We need... even Ancelotti. These are big managers, big names. Even if Antonio Conte leaves Chelsea, I would be thinking maybe Antonio... I know the Chelsea thing. I know this season's been very poor for them. Maybe he needs a new challenge. I don't get...
Yeah.
I so want to get behind Arteta. I remember when he played for Arsenal, I never really had a bad word to say about him, even though he wasn't the greatest of players. But you could see that he always wanted to put his heart into it. I remember when he left and he was in tears and stuff like that. But
yeah, he was in tears, and then that week he deleted anything to do with Arsenal.
Then he went to... And you know, all the people behind the scenes say they used to call him coach. He's like he's a guy that is very meticulous.
Got great hair.
He's got great hair.
Lego.
You know, and he's like, you know, he's very focused. He knows what he wants. Maybe he could, but
It's too big a gamble, I think.
I'm sorry, this number, he's number 2 to Guardiola, and what? Is how I look on it, and I'm not being horrible here. But as I said, I look at Paul Clement, who was at number 2, and he went to Derby and flopped.
And you think I'm like a number 2 to him, and doesn't mean that I'll succeed. But do you know, Robbie, man, it's just. You know the problem, right? Is that the thing is as well. I didn't pull out banners, yeah, and protest in freezing cold weathers for Arsenal to employ Mikel Arteta.
Well, there's quite a few people who said to me that then maybe we should have left Arsene Wenger in there, because if Mikel Arteta, I know we said, listen, I'm just. You know, I'm really baffled.
What's the scenario that Arteta comes in, flops, absolutely has an atrocious half to the season, and then we bring Arsene back to steady the ship? Oh, no! That's
not a bad shout.
No!
I could see that happening.
No! I better not get rid of them banners yet. I might as well just save them for a bit.
Wenger in, mate. Trust me.
Oh, mate, could you imagine that? We want Wenger in, so we want Wenger in. After about November time, it's like, we're just... it's a shambles.
As I said, I'm shocked. I'm shocked at, you know...
But the thing is, I don't think that they've got... The one thing we have to be careful with the media, right? Because the media are throwing a lot out there. And I know a lot of the... I have to be careful the way I word this, but a lot of the certain sites are saying things, so certain, you know, odds go on a certain way, because, you know, if someone becomes a favourite, you lump a load of money on it, and then a week later they're not the favourite anymore, and they're down to 10 to 1.
Listen, it's not...
And, you know, and it's not just that, so you've got to be careful what you listen to. But what I'm hearing is that Arteta, it's done. They've got the meeting Thursday and everything else. Thursday's come and gone, and all of a sudden Allegri's back in the frame. Oh, hold on a minute. Arsenal have now spoken to Patrick Vieira, and he's not too happy because he sees it as a token gesture. Oh, wait a minute. Thierry Henry's now being contacted. So if we're to believe what the media and that are saying, then the board ain't got a fucking clue what they're doing. Well, because in their own mind, they should... Right, listen, Robbie. That board knew Arsene Wenger was leaving 5 weeks ago. 5 weeks ago. At that point, the contingency plans and everything were all in place, ready to go, and they should have even been way before that sort of thing. If you're led to believe what some people will say, from March and everything that they knew and everything else, they should have a clear objective in their mind right now as to being who the manager of Arsenal Football Club is. There's, after this weekend, the last of the Premier League teams finished with the FA Cup final. Obviously, Liverpool got the Champions League final to come.
They said they want to make the appointment before the World Cup.
Well, that's coming around.
June the 14th.
4 weeks. Less, I think. You know what I mean? What's the date now? Look, we're on the 18th. So you're talking less than 4 weeks away. This man has to go, and I know it's very easy to say that, you know, we've got signings to get, and they're probably already, you know, in motion and whatnot. But you want to get these signings done before the World Cup, because you know what happens. You might like a player before the World Cup and then go, right, just wait till after. He has a blinder, and all of a sudden he's £30 million more than what he was before the World Cup. Or he might get injured, or, you know what I mean? And then trying to sort out business straight after. The guy's going on holiday. The season's already come forward early, because it's at the start of August this year. You know, the transfer window it ends on the 9th.
Yeah.
So everything's early. You know, we've got pre-season tours to the Far East, Sweden. Do you know what I mean? You want to have these all in place, because it's a new manager as well.
How sometimes these things work. Now, we know Mikel Arteta's not nailed on. How a lot of these football clubs, they work, it's very like they adopt a lot of things that politicians do in politics.
Chat shit.
Whereas, no, what they do is sometimes they'll have journalists that are close to the club.
Ornstein.
Right? I never said Ornstein. No, they'll have journalists that are close to the club, right?
I reckon the one that they've got close to the club that they feed all the bullshit to is John Cross, because everything he relays comes out wrong. So, look at his face. He's like,
John Cross is all right.
No, I like John. John's a very good
I do like John.
I like John.
But listen to the mechanics of this, right?
Go on.
This is not just Arsenal. This is how a lot of these clubs work, right? So they'll have certain journalists that are near to